Hey guys, I'm Remote today. So in today's video, we'll be talking about the British and Irish Lions versus South Africa A. Of course, this will be a very interesting video to talk about, as South Africa A have gone with a lot of Springboks on their side, which is not too surprising, as the second game of against Georgia for the Springboks, of course, was cancelled, unfortunately, due to a lot of COVID cases within the South African camp, including the likes of Khaleesi and several other players. But of course, within this game, they have gone with a lot of Springboks, of course, to go into the Lions, and yeah, no better way actually to do it against the Lions, obviously in preparation towards those tests against them. So yeah, of course with the Lions, they have gone pretty, they have done pretty well, you could say, so far from this Lions tour so far. Obviously winning 3 out of 3 games so far. Well, you could say 4 out of 4 if you include the Japan game. But I'm just saying for the South African teams, obviously they beat them in the Lions within the first one, and of course the Sharks twice, obviously due to the Bulls having to pull out due to COVID cases. So yeah, it's one of those which they've been obviously on a roll, and obviously yeah, so 3 out of 3 games so far within South Africa, and they'll be obviously looking to make it 4 out of 4. So of course with the starting lineups, I'll go over the South African one first. So here is the South Africa A team, obviously for the starting lineup, and afterwards I will go over the Lions squad, the Lions team, and then after that I will give my prediction for this game. So of course with the South Africa A team, you have to go with the likes of Klitschko as well as Dweba as well as Indian Kanye as the front row, of course, for the South African A team. And yeah, I'd say it's a pretty good front row to say the least. I mean, obviously Klitschko as well as Indian Kanye is probably, I wouldn't say is the starting, I'd say props. I'd say, I mean, obviously Klitschko is definitely the number one for that number one position, but I wouldn't say Indian Kanye is probably I'd say the first choice from is he the first choice? No, I wouldn't say he's the first choice. I would put Mal Harbour ahead of him. So for that reason, it's a decent front row in that sense. And obviously they had gone with the likes of Dweba, who has done very well recently, and obviously he has been playing within France, and he's done pretty well there so far. So it'll be very interesting to see how he does within this game for sure. Of course, with their locks, they have gone with the likes of Etzbeth as well as Mostert. So yeah, it's a very good locking pairing there, and most likely the best pairing I'd say that the Springboks have. So it's going to be good to see how those two play together. Of course, within this game. But yeah, I mean, with the loose forward trio, they have gone with the likes of Van Staden at 6, they have gone with the likes of the Toits at 7, and of course Riesi at 8. So it's one of those which I wouldn't say it's the best, you could say, loose forward trio there. I mean, obviously, Du Toit is a sensational player. Obviously, he definitely deserved that Player of the Year award. But I mean, Van Staden and obviously Riesi are two. I wouldn't say are to the level of what Khaleesi as well as Vermeulen is. So it's going to be that's definitely probably the weakest area within this squad, in my opinion. But obviously, it's one of those which I do think we see is a very is a very good up and coming player who can definitely make a difference for the Springboks later down the line. Of course, the back line, they've got the likes of De Kurt as well as Morais staying at 10, so a pretty good combination there with the 9 and 10 positions. Obviously, De Kurt coming back into this side. Yeah, he hasn't played, I think, in a while actually for the Springboks. Of course, this is his first game he's actually playing within South Africa, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, because he had the travel obviously from the UK, so it's going to be very interesting to see how Flack plays within this game for sure. I mean, with that centre pairing, they have one of the likes of Dialende as well as Lekonyo Am within that 12 and 13 spot. And of course, Lekonyo Am is the captain of the side within this game, so it's going to be very interesting to see how he does as the captain. But of course, that is probably the most likely centre combination, I'd say, for the Springboks as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see how those two play together once again. Of course, the wingers, they have got the likes of Inkose at the 11 spot, as well as Cheslin Kobe at 14. So again, we'll finally get to see the introduction of Cheslin Kobe once again, which is great to see, of course, for the Springboks. But yeah, he'll obviously get his chance to play for South Africa A within this one, if that makes sense. But of course, with the last position with that 15 spot, they have gone to the likes of Willie LaRue. So yeah, very good player, of course. He's done pretty well within Japan. So hopefully he'll be able to translate his form in Japan, obviously, into this game. Yeah, anyway, that's kind of the Springbok squad, and obviously with the South Africa A squad, I mean. So yeah, anyway, but we'll move on to the British and Irish Lions team, of course. And yeah, with their front row, here is the British and Irish Lions team, obviously. And yeah, we'll go over the front row first, of course, with the, they have gone the likes of Wyn Jones at number 1, and Ken Owens at number 2, and of course Kyle Sinclair at number 3. So again, I would say this is a pretty good front row. I would say it's slightly better than, of course, I'd say it's slightly better than the South Africa A side, in my opinion. I think it's, it's probably what I would go with as my starting front row. Maybe you put Furlong instead of Sinclair, but other than that, I think it's, pretty bang on. It's pretty good, to be perfectly honest. So that's a pretty good front row to have. Of course, with their lock pairing, they have gone with the likes of Mario Itoje as well as Ian Henderson. And in my opinion, I think this is actually their best lot pairing they can go with. Of course, there is confirmation that I do believe that Alan Wyn Jones will actually come into South. Well, he will travel to South Africa now, So it's a possibility that he could actually play within those free tests against the Springboks. We'll have to wait and see. But for the meantime, I do believe Henderson and Itoje is the best combination the Lions can go with. But with the loose forward trio, they have gone with the likes of Navidi at 6, they've gone with the likes of Curry at 7, and they've gone with the likes of Falatau at 8. So I do believe that's a pretty good loose forward trio. I mean, I really like Josh Navidi. Of course, he is the injury cover, you could say, for Tipperick. And of course, Falatau, in my opinion, is still the best number 8 the British and Irish Lions have to offer. And of course, Tom Curry is a great number 7.5. So it's not one of the, I'm not really going to complain too much about that. So yeah, I think it's a pretty decent loose forward trio there, and it's going to be very interesting to see how they do against the South Africa A team, because in my opinion, I do think they have the better loose forward trio, so they should do pretty well in that area for sure. Of course, for the back line for the British and Irish Lions, they have gone with the likes of Conor Murray at 9, as well as Dan Barry at 10. So, of course, Conor Murray is the captain of this side, so I do believe this will be not the first time he's in the captain. Is this the first time he's captain? No, I don't think this will be the first time he captains, but of course, it's going to be interesting to see how that combination of Murray and Bigger goes once again. Of course, for the centre pairings, they have gone the likes of Bundy Aki at 12, of course, as well as Chris Harris at 13. And I really like this combination, to be perfectly honest. I think Aki's done, he's done brilliantly actually for the Lions so far, and of course, Chris Harris has done pretty well. I'll say he's done decently for the Lions within the games he's played in. So yeah, I think that combination will be very interesting to see how that goes. Of course, for the wingers, they have gone the likes of Josh Adams at 11, as well as Lewis Rees-Summit. So, of course, the Welsh boys are kind of retaining on to those winger spots. So, it's going to be very interesting to see how those two play, of course, within those separate positions. But the interesting one, actually, is that they've gone with Anthony Watson as the 15, which is very interesting because, obviously, they haven't gone with the likes of, Elliot Daly or even, Liam Williams at that 15 spot. So, it's going to be very interesting to see how Anthony Watson plays there. But, of course, he is able to play at 15, so it's going to be very interesting to see if he's actually if he's actually good in actually catching the ball, territory, obviously kicking for touch, but I think he's pretty good within that area, so it shouldn't be too much of a trouble for him. But I mean, that's going to go with the British and Irish Lions squad. So if I'd actually say who wins this game, I think I have to edge it towards the British and Irish Lions in my opinion. I think they just have a slightly better squad than the South Africa A side, but I always say Springboks, but it is pretty much these. It is the South Africa A squad, but it pretty much is the Springboks. But yeah, but I do think they have a better squad than the South Africa A squad. So for that reason, I do think this will be a close game. But I do think the British and Irish Lions will win this by at least a margin of 5 points, in my opinion. So I do believe they'll win this game. I'll say 27 points to 22. Yeah, I'll say 27 points to 22 is my final prediction for that game. But anyway, just hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.